Hi, I'm Mike, and today we hit the road. We're heading to Belle Fourche, South Dakota to visit Dakota Mills on Our Wyoming Life. It's a beautiful day here on the ranch. Thanks for coming along with us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. And today we're taking a look at something that's a little bit behind the scenes on the ranch and something that you may never see, but every single animal here on the ranch needs to eat. And what they eat has to come from somewhere. You've seen the local feed store that we frequent quite often, where we get our lick and some cake and all that kind of good stuff. But what do you do when you need something in mass quantities? And right now here on the ranch, we've got a ton of animals that need a ton of food all the time. And honestly, when I say a ton of food, I mean a ton of food. And a lot of times that massive amount of food you can't get from your local feed store. You can. You're going to pay bagged feed prices a lot of times, and you're paying per bag. So for us, it actually makes more sense for right now, as we just get into these bulk feeds, we want to make sure that we're getting the most economical price that we can. And that includes us driving a couple hours just to pick up feed for the animals, but tons of feed. We're picking up 3 tons of feed today. We're getting pig grower for the pigs. We're getting chicken food, and we're also getting cake for the cows. We're going to try that out as well. So we are going to be driving to Belle Fourche, South Dakota to get all that, but first we have to get a trailer to be able to haul it. This is the trailer we're going to be using today. It's a little bit unconventional to actually use this to haul feed around, because it's going to be coming in 1-ton bags, but I figure it works just as well as anything else, as bringing a flatbed or anything. So I'm going to take this with us over there. We're going to back up to it with the truck with the help of this little contraption. I've had this for years, and I figured, hey, what the heck, I might as well share it with you. It's called an eyeball, and it's just a little tiny screen that you can put in the cab of your pickup, along with a camera that you can mount somewhere, so that you can get lined up to whether it's a fifth wheel or a gooseneck or even just a bumper pole. This thing could actually come in handy for that as well. So I'm going to get this set up and I'm going to show you how this works. The eyeball comes in 2 separate pieces. This is the camera unit, and this is the receiver with the monitor. The receiver with the monitor plugs right into a cigarette lighter inside your cab, whereas this thing runs on batteries. All you have to do is turn it on, and hopefully the little red light comes on if you've got batteries. Well, we'll try it. We'll see. I might have to put new batteries into it. And what we're going to want to do is mount this so that it has a view of that ball up there in the front of the pickup. Where can we mount it so it actually has a magnet? I have never used this before in this pickup, so we're going to try to figure out somewhere to put this where we can actually get this thing lined up. I cannot for the life of me remember how much this thing cost. I bought it years and years ago. I used it in my old pickup. I could put it right here. That might work. I used it in the old pickup and quite extensively, but I've never used it in this pickup yet. So we're gonna go ahead and mount it right in front of the ball here. We're gonna see if this works. Right about there. So it has a really good view of the ball itself as we back up to it. And now we just have to put the monitor unit inside the pickup. The monitor plugs right into your cigarette lighter. Just turn it on. And there we go. We've got a nice little image of our ball there as we back into it. So let's see how well this works. I don't know how old this thing is, probably 5 years old or something like that. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I'll have to see if I can find a link. And I'm sure that if they do make them, they probably make them with a lot better technology than they have now. But we're gonna see if this actually helps us out here or not. You can see that the screen is very, very flickery. and it's always done that. Always been that way. That looks to be almost dead on. Let's go back and take a look and see how close we are. All right, it seems to work. Do you really need it? Maybe not. But it's kind of a cool little thing. If you do have trouble backing up to a trailer or to a gooseneck or anything like that, you can get one of these. It's called the Eyeball Wireless Trailer Hitch Camera. If I can find a link for it, I'll throw it down in the description for you. For right now, let's get this trailer hooked up, and we're running a little bit late, so let's get this thing hooked up and get out of here.
Well, I grew up on a farm down in Carolina where the men know how to be men. Grandpa ride the tractor, then he'd feed the cattle, sing a song for the day would end. Came to California where the boys are so pretty, their hair's full of gel and their clothes are never dirty. Leaves my heart longing for the simple satisfaction of a truck driving man. He can be from the hills, he can be from the swamp, it really don't matter to me. Just let me watch him fix my car, and Lord, I'm in ecstasy. Curl up and listen to some old Johnny Cash. It smells like tobacco and the bourbon in the flask. The Lord have mercy, I get high thinking about my truck driving man. All I want's a truck driving man. Loaded up, fired up.
We're hauling behind us a fleet neck dump trailer made by Diamond C. It's a 16-foot dump trailer that we pretty much use for everything that we can on the ranch. I purchased it about a year ago from my friend Nick, who had it, and he ran out of uses for it. He put it on the highway. I drove by, I saw it, and I snagged it up as quick as I could. Having a dump trailer on the ranch is pretty much invaluable. I mean, we use it for hauling anything we can, whether we're moving materials around or just cleaning. Sometimes it's just one giant dumpster, so it comes in handy. It has a lot of different uses. We've got about a 2-hour drive ahead of us as we head over that way, and we're just going to sit back and listen to some tunes and cruise to South Dakota from Gillette, Wyoming. So it's going to be a bit of a wait, but when we get there, I definitely guarantee it's going to be worth it as we get a chance to look around Dakota Mills in Belle Fourche, South Dakota. Alrighty, gang, looks like we are here, Dakota Mill and Grain. We're gonna get a chance to look around a little bit and see what this is all about and get some food for our animals. Should be a lot of fun. All right, so I ended up trading my hat for a hard hat, and we can go ahead and take a look and see what's going on back here. Chad, who is our guide, is on the way here in a little bit, but we're gonna sneak back here and see what's going on. And supposedly, I'm looking for somebody back here in the mill who is mixing grain somewhere. I honestly have no idea where I'm going, but we'll keep on checking it out here. This guy back here, his name is Shane. Shane, do you have an official title here?
Mill operator.
Mill operator. That makes you sound more official than just lackey kind of thing.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you said you're just getting ready to start mixing up some COB.
Yep.
And I feed COB. I finish my steers on COB.
Yep.
And I get asked a lot of times, what's the percentage that you go for? Is that more of a industry secret type thing?
No,
or
it's not really. It's primarily corn. Probably more 50% corn, then you break it down into quarterly into oats and barley.
Gotcha.
And then we add about 10% molasses. We do two different variations of it. We do steamroll, which is what I'm about to do right now, and then we do a cracked version.
Okay. So this is a steam machine or a steam roller machine?
A flaker.
A flaker.
Yeah, flaking roller, steam roller. It's got a bunch of different names.
Gotcha. And the corn goes through here?
Yep. All the grain is in here right now. Just pre-cooking it.
Okay.
So you get it nice and soft, and then it runs through the rollers, and that gives it that flat look to it.
And how much is in there? How much does this thing hold?
Well, the whole thing will hold about 5 tons.
Okay.
But I'm only doing 1 ton right now.
1 ton at a time.
Yeah,
okay.
Just for stock. Because when it gets hot, you got added moisture to grain that already has moisture in it, and then you're adding molasses, which has water in it, so that's more moisture. So we try not to get too much of it on hand because it does spoil with heat and humidity and all that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So what step are you on now? You're just steaming it.
At the I'm basically cooking it.
Cooking it. This is warm back here too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The steam pipes they make it pretty warm back here. It's nice in the wintertime though.
I could only imagine. So how long do you have to wait for this to get done?
A couple more seconds. Usually you wait for the steam to billow out both sides in the center, and just until you can kind of smell it cooking.
Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah.
Yep, and then it's a handful of process after I start it. It's about 5 minutes because it's got to run through a series of like a cooler upstairs and then augers and everything to help tone the heat down of the grain and the moisture and everything.
There's a lot more to it than you would think. I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it took me a while once I first learned. There we go. I think we're about good to start.
Okay. Going to start a timer. He left me alone with the big scary machine. I definitely shouldn't be touching any of this. So it's mixed above us.
Actually, they weigh it up in the elevator, a big hopper. And what we do, we weigh the lightest grain first.
Okay.
So we do oats, barley, and corn. And then when he pulls the handle and opens that hopper, it all funnels down into a big pit and essentially mixes on its own.
Oh, okay.
And then it's kind of the same concept when it comes out of the bin up there. You open that bin and it all funnels down into like a cyclone and mixes it all up.
Nice. All right, so now, nope, not yet. I think we're getting ready to add the molasses to the mixture, but we'll see. Oh, okay.
And then this is organic acid to keep the spoilage down.
Oh, okay. There's a little bit more to this than I thought there was. And he's just making COB. 3 ingredients. Probably more than that. And then you're going to be packaging over here into 50-pound bags?
Down. It eventually runs its way up into here. Open slot into the auger.
And that's what you end up with.
That's what we started to end up with.
So obviously it's COB. How many ingredients are actually in corn, oats, and barley?
Oats, barley, molasses, and mold inhibitor.
Okay, so 5 ingredients.
Pretty simple, yeah.
Yeah.
simple.
And you were saying earlier that this is the part of your job you take the most pride in?
Yes. Yeah, this is why I like doing this right.
Nice.
And not even just making it, but like when I palletize it, I mean, aesthetics are a lot. I mean, people look at that.
Well, you know, chefs worry about that. Well, my wife always calls it plating.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
So you're plating COB.
Yep.
Yeah, why not?
Yep, it's kind of important that I take pride in what I do.
How long have you worked here?
5 years.
5 years.
Yep, 5 years, about a week ago.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Might be a little on the wet side.
I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. Apparently it's a little bit too wet, so he's drying it out. So when you say it's a little bit too wet, too much molasses?
Too much molasses.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no real measurement way to do it. It's more by feel and look the way I do it. It's generally a 10% is what we do. 10% molasses. But you get some guys that like a lot more molasses and some that don't. So it's kind of like buying a lottery ticket sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but
right.
It's all still good feed. To estimate how many bags, I've probably done 200, 300,000.
Wow.
My first year I did 33,000 bags.
No kid. Then you stop counting? Needless to say, Shane has a lot of irons in the fire just making corn, oats, and barley. This guy's back and forth 400 times. It's about, what do you think it is in here? 100 degrees in here? Over on that side?
Oh, in there it's...
Oh, wait a minute, we might have a thermometer.
I'd say at least 95.
About 95 degrees. It's warm.
It's definitely warm.
So you're not just sweating because you're going back and forth 400 times.
Yeah, but all the ambient temperature on the steam pipes. I mean, this whole room is steam pipes. Yeah. Other than this one and this one, that's just molasses, but everything else is all steam.
Wow.
That radiant heat really wears on
it. It feels like it's about 20 degrees cooler just over here. So. And
then like you go in the boiler room, it's probably 125 in there.
Really?
Yeah, it's not coming.
And that's where all the steam's coming from, is the boiler room, obviously. Yep. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, like it's not fun in the summertime, but it's a great place to be in the winter.
I can only imagine.
Oh.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You broke your phone now. Hope that was worth it. Thank you. I appreciate you taking your time. I think I'm pretty much done. Isn't the chicken feed still popping out here a little bit?
It's done now, but it's out.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. We tracked down Chad. Who are you again?
Chad Tesh, the manager here at Dakota Mills and Grain. Was out in the country there doing some stuff, finally got back here, but we're going through showing Mike kind of what we do here, moving grain from the elevator, how we take grain in, how we move it to the roller mill, and how it gets to the customer and the animal. So next step, check it out.
Awesome. How long you been here, Chad?
Not very long, since March actually. I just took over.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, well, about 4 minutes. So we've already seen the whole process with COB, but now we're kind of taking a little bit of a step back, because this is more of the intake side of things. And you guys, and Shane was telling me that a lot of your guys' grain and stuff like that actually comes within, you know, from within about 150-mile radius or so.
Yeah, well, as you can see here, we've got a 90,000 bushel bin, and this is dedicated just for winter wheat.
Oh, wow.
Which is the largest commodity that we have in the area from farmers. But since we do make feed, we have to take in oats, barley, corn, and store it in our overhead bins in order to send it to the roller mill and make different feeds.
Nice.
So in this elevator, we've got 26 or 29 different bins ranging from 1,000 bushel to 5,000 bushel capacity. And we'll check it out. I mean, pull a couple different cables and, you know, open chutes, and it slides down and drops into a leg, and move it back up and send it somewhere else. So,
wow. So this is where a truck comes in, and it would dump here, correct?
Yep, they'll come onto the scale, and we'd get a gross weight, and then he would start dumping, and we'd take a sample, and then we would run it through some equipment in the mill. We're checking dockage, so, you know, if there's bugs or grasshoppers or ergot or you know, broken grain or chaff, you know, just any dirty material, and you could lose points or lose money based off of that. We check the moisture, we check the protein, and the test weight, and then if we accept it, then they can empty the rest of it out. It drops in here, comes through a drag, and goes up that leg, and then we can divert where we want it to go, whether it goes out to that big bin or if it goes to one of the bins inside of here. A lot of times, like when we're loading a train car with winter wheat, we have to have an ending protein of 11.9. Well, one guy's protein might have been 12.2,
right?
And then another guy's protein was 10.9. We've got to keep those separate so we can mix in a train car and keep an 11.9 protein going out.
That makes sense.
The town of Belle Fourche was built around this elevator, you know.
I was gonna, so
center of town.
Do you know much of the history of the elevator here? I know you've only been here a few months,
so. This one was built in like 45 or 46 or something.
Okay.
So it's definitely old, and this is a newer structure. I mean, the mill was here, but it was an old wooden elevator, but same location, you know. Matter of fact, the roller mill that he was in was the elevator.
Oh, okay.
And then there was another storage deal over here, but this is where the big elevator got built, and there's lots of elevators like this around the country now.
Right.
You know, nowadays when they build a new facility, it's mostly bins, you know, and they can move it underground or above, and they don't necessarily mix a lot of feed there, but
gotcha.
Lots of grain moving in and out, lots of commodities. So, and what he's doing here is he's weighing up a batch. So he can pull some chutes. Let's say that the wheat came in bin 10. He's gonna go pull 10, dial up his scale. We want 3,000 pounds. When that whole thing's a scale. When it fills up to 3,000, he levels out, he pulls the cable and shuts it off.
Okay.
And then what he can do is drop his corn, oats, and barley all in there, weigh it up 3 different times, and then when he's ready, he'll drop it through there, it'll come back up the leg and go over to the roller mill.
Right, and that's where, and it gets mixed as it's going, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that overhead over there, it'll mix it too.
Gotcha. So here comes the truck. Do you know what's on this truck?
Either winter wheat or spring wheat.
Okay.
This is our scale machine. You know, we'll put the customer name, the commodity, the weight. We'll put all the dockage and everything in there, and it prints out a form, and that's how the farmer gets paid from the grain. He's weighing that right now. And then what's gonna happen is he's gonna take a sample. He's gonna run it through this. This is what tests dockage. It's basically like combine sieves that'll shake it all out. And then they'll weigh out what the dockage is. He'll put a sample through here and check the test weight and the moisture, and then he'll put a sample in here to check the protein. This is Ray Garza. He's
Hi, Ray.
the elevator.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
So you get a little down. be undersized and rotated internal.
Okay. This is moisture?
This is moisture right here, yep. Good with that, 11.9. And then this will be protein here. 1861.8. 14.2 protein.
Nice.
So here's a great indication of how hard these guys work. There's a seat here that apparently is where they take their breaks. There's enough dust on this thing to tell. Nobody's taken a break for quite a while. Once one truck is dumped, it's out of here. And in comes another. So here's my report. This is Bob the Builder. A bunch of wheat chaff all over the screen there. So these actually control where the grain is going. And each one of these lines, they run all the way up through a system of pulleys. And the best that I can see is like this one right about there. Or no, this one over here. How about this one? This one over here, you can see that that one's pulled out, so that's number 15. You can see the 15 on the ceiling there. And if we follow that all the way over here to number 15, and that appears to be barley. So that one is open. What that means, I have no idea, but it sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's pretty much it. We're going to get out of Belle Fourche, South Dakota and head back towards home. And we're going to wrap things up for today. That was really cool. A lot of really neat information and kind of a cool tour. You know, a gigantic building and lots of storage with just basically 2 rooms, well, maybe 3, with all the action taking place within those 3 rooms. Pretty cool experience, something that I know I've never done before, and something worth repeating and being able to check out for yourself if you do get a chance. So thank you very much. Join us tomorrow as we're going to unload this hay back, or this feed back at the ranch. We're going to show you how we feed it, how we get it into the pig feeder, and how we're going to feed the chickens, and how we're going to also cake the cows with it. Should be very cool, and hopefully just a little bit more educational, not than this, because I don't know if I can get this any more educational, but more educational than just hearing me yammer on like usual. So thanks guys, we appreciate it. I'm gonna hit the road. Might grab something to drink because it's about 500 degrees in there, but other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Be sure you subscribe, follow along, join us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Hit the little bell button so you don't miss a thing, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Our Wyoming Life.